I'm so happy to bring Jessica Simpson back into the studio. It has been too long.
Hi.
My gosh, good morning, Jess.
Good morning. I'm so happy to talk to you.
Well, this has been, I just said when she pulled up here this morning, I said, wow, you've been keeping some secrets from us.
I have, but I no longer am
No.
a secret.
You know,
I
it's-
am an open book.
Literally. It's funny. We started doing this thing on the show, and I don't know if it's really going to be a thing or not because we don't have that many entries, but we all realized that some of us, Sissany and Patty, had diaries, and I had a yearbook, and Tanya has a workbook that she just wrote in about her romances. Anyway, so we started doing these readings called Dear Diary Wednesdays.
Okay.
And then, of course, I saw your book, and it was like Dear Diary Life.
Dear Diary Life.
Right?
It is a life of work, pretty much.
And you wrote this stuff. How much of did you actually write down in your own diary that went into
I
this
had
book?
hundreds of
Really?
diaries. Yeah, I had hundreds of journals.
And
When
you
did
go
you
back
start?
When I got sober in 2017, I had started to look back through my journals to write new music to release, and I was wanting to go back through experiences and stuff like that. And so when I was in with all these writers at a writing session at my house, I was just opening journals and like going from page to page and like realizing how much stuff that I haven't really dealt with. But I was also looking at the girl that I was and the perspective that I had, and I really missed that person.
Yeah.
And so within that is when I started to spiral with the drinking and trying to like numb things. And then I just realized it was stuff that I actually needed to talk about and face. And once I made the decision to stop drinking, I immediately went into therapy, and it was all of my journals that we would go through. And so the book just started writing itself. Like within 2 weeks of therapy, I was like, I'm ready to write a book.
Wow.
Yeah, because I thought that I wouldn't releasing a memoir at 39,
Right.
it's like people normally wait till the end, So I was like, and mine's 400 pages. So if I were to have waited any longer, I don't know that people could have read it. It would be very long.
It would be the size
But
of the
it was a
dictionary.
very healing process
I
for
bet.
me to like rediscover the person that I was and who I was allowing myself to become, and how destructive I was actually being in my life, and what I was trying to just put aside and not
Wow.
deal with, because I'm a very open and honest person, and I was the first to ever, I would tell all my friends, they all knew all these stories, like,
Right.
and I would be like, I know I'm drinking too much. Like, it would never be something that I was hiding at all.
So they would know it the first thing in the morning. Sometimes you'd be having a drink at 7.
Yeah. I would just pour it in my glitter cup.
And your husband, what did he say at that point?
He didn't really say much. Nobody really said much other than like, are you sure you need
Right.
that right now? And I'm like,
Right.
but I'm so nervous to like even go to a school assembly. Like, how?
So when you trace back you're looking at this and the therapy and the things you've learned, where does that come from? Where does that nervousness and that anxiety come from?
I think that it just comes from a place of, like, I didn't understand what people's actual perception of me was. I knew who I was, but I had to rediscover a lot of who I wanted to be for the world, because it is authentically myself. And to be that, I had to be stronger than I was in that moment. People really understood me in that moment as just being like them, so
Yeah.
they could relate to me. And I realized with writing this book how many more people and how much people have grown up since the reality show,
Right.
because it was so long ago, and they're all my age, have gone through a lot of the same things that I've gone through, and I've just gone through it on a public platform,
But the things that you open up about, it's extremely vulnerable and extremely brave. So Jess, you were mentioning the reality show, which you and Nick did, which is how many years ago?
I was 22.
Right. So that's
no, I wasn't. Yeah, I got married at 22. So
It was right when you guys got married, right?
yeah,
Literally, it was called
literally
Newlyweds.
like
Right, Newlyweds,
we
yeah.
were newlyweds. It was
Yeah.
our first time even living together because
I remember.
I was a virgin, and
no,
like
and the world got to know like everything about you fast, right?
They really did, and it was my dad's idea. Like my dad was like, I really want people to understand you and know that you're human, because if they get to hang out with you while you're on the couch, they'll really understand who you are.
Relate
Yeah.
and connect.
Yeah.
So do you think, I mean, you talk about past relationship, you talk about abuse, marriage, divorce, addiction in this memoir. Do you think it was a mistake to open yourself up so early to the world?
Oh no, it's been the most empowering thing I could possibly do.
To do the Newlywed show was?
Oh, I do believe that doing the Newlyweds is what made people. I mean, it's what launched my brand. It's what launched.
So that was a good. You think that still was the right thing to do?
Absolutely, I would go back and do it all over again. It's never something I wouldn't do again. I just maybe wouldn't have done a third season. The moment I met Eric, I was like, okay, these people cannot come back to me because I've let these doors open way too many times, and it's been so destructive. And once I met Eric, I truly changed everything.
Well, he must be. I don't know him well, but just incredible, and strong. But he also saw you when you were, like you said, not in 2017. When did you get sober? 2017?
2017, yeah.
Yeah. So how long have you been with Eric?
Eric and I have been together. May 21st will be 10 years.
10 years.
Congratulations.
So
But we were having fun. I mean,
Yeah.
we were. It wasn't like
it wasn't dark and doomsday.
yeah, it wasn't dark. It wasn't like I was like dancing on tables and like there was never like drugs or anything like that. I mean, it was truly just alcohol caught up with me.
What about being mom
Being mom
and going through that?
Well, a lot of the drinking did come with my parents' divorce because it was a very unexpected, painful thing for your foundation to be rocked. And I didn't know where my place was. I didn't know where my place was with my mother and with my father and how to be there for both of them and how to, be a family. So it was very confusing, especially because I was starting my own family when this all happened. So I was focusing on the good moments of having Maxwell and having Ace right after, truly, like very close after, unexpectedly. So I was in a lot of joy in that time of my life, but also pushing back the pain of my parents' divorce. And it really just started escalating because I started to not really know how to be a mom. Like I'm not living the example that I would want my children to be, living for their own lives. And, how can I do this? My parents wouldn't have done this to me. I mean, like my dad was like a preacher and my mom, was like my right-hand woman who like always was there for me, and they never drank.
How's your relationship with them now?
Amazing. Like through Open Book, it's like connected our family on such a deep level. And my father and I, even though I let him go as a manager, I now have him as my father. And that was very, very important to me that we have that relationship. And through all of it, I mean, he went on the book tour with me. He was on the sidelines still rooting me on. And he wasn't controlling everything because it was under my control because I knew what I needed to do for myself, and but my father and my mother, they were actually better than I thought they were. It was more painful, I think, for me than it was for them.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Jessica Simpson is with us. I cannot believe we have not talked to you in so long. I'm so happy
know.
you're here. I feel like we grew up together.
We
you know?
did.
We talked about some heavy stuff in her memoir, Open Book, but it sounds like you're in such a great place now.
Well, it's just so much freedom that I feel.
To release all this. Oh, you did say you did talk about all this stuff. I mean, heavy stuff to your friends, just the world didn't know about it.
It's just the world. And honestly, like when I sat with my therapist, I was like, okay, this has happened. It's sexual abuse. It's my parents' divorce. It's my divorce. I was like owning all of these things in my life about being bullied or whatnot, and the therapist literally looked at me and was like, people do not admit this within 5 years.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
But
for you to
really
actually
wanted
already
to do it.
know what you need to heal is an incredible step, and your healing will be so much faster. And it was, because I knew exactly what it was that I needed to overcome. And in walking through those fears, I have felt such an empowerment as a woman, as a mother, as a wife, just being present. And I feel like I'm truly myself, and that's what I'm offering the world. And, doing the audiobook was so healing for me. It was really hard, really intense. It was 5 days straight. But the music I had done was the music that I had written right before I got sober. And then there was another song that I wrote right after I got sober called Heartbeat. But the other songs, you can hear my journey, and it really finalizes and completes the audiobook. After listening to me talk through my stories, the music at the end is like the best. It's just the best component.
You talk about Heartbeat. There's one called Party of One, which
Party
is
of One, yes, and that's
abandonment.
Abandonment. It's about your relationship with yourself. It's about your reflection in the mirror. It's about, I hate you, I love you. It's like, it's all these things that we think of, our inner thoughts, and I'm like, and it claims like I'm more than my body, I'm more than my wealth, like I'm more than what everybody is saying that I am and what people are focusing on. And I really had to find the heart of myself and see that reflection and feel worthy to feel beautiful and to really just, be humble and know that it's just, a moment that we all go through, some on a daily basis, some on a weekly basis,
And look at what you have now.
Yeah, it's really
you have
unreal.
Clarity.
Mm-hmm.
You have amazing kids. You have a solid, wonderful companion and partner and husband.
Yes, I do.
And I mean, you look at that and you think, you had to go through a lot of things to get to it.
I did.
But here's where you are.
But 2020 is going
Bring
real
it.
good so far.
All right. Well, listen. Please keep coming back. I'm so happy to
Absolutely.
see you, and I've really, truly missed you, Jessica.
Thank you. I've missed y'all.
We all did.
Thanks for coming back.
We
through.
love you, Jessica.
Love y'all. Thank you
Love
so
y'all.
much.
Love y'all.
And bring
There it
Eric.
is.
I need to spend some time with Eric.
I know. You would absolutely adore Eric.
He
He would make you like meditate and have tea time.
Oh, that's like right up his alley. Are you kidding me?
Look at that. Yeah, my husband wakes up at 4:00 every morning and has like his Qigong instructor and some other guys over.
His Qigong instructor. I didn't even know I needed my gong to be Qi.
Yeah.
I
it's all about
that's
like healing.
I want a gong.
Yeah.
We need a gong. You can tell Eric I'm drinking mint rosemary fennel tea
I
as
will.
we speak
I
right
will. Absolutely.
Wait,
he drinks
Tubbs.
pu'er tea.
Tubbs, we need a gong. That's what we need. A gong, and then I can have a Qi guy come.
We'll get one.
But he literally wakes up so early. Like I have to like text him when I'm awake. Like, I never wake up next to him because I know he's like downstairs like doing some Qigong.
He's on his mat.
And like on his like 8th cup of tea.
Please let me roommate with him for a day. All right, New York Times bestselling book and audiobook, Open Book, Jessica Simpson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.